Start with Tony O'Donoghue from RTE, please.
Thanks, Kieran. Hi, Stephen. How are you?
Hi, Tony. How you doing?
Good, good. Stephen, the importance of it. You're standing on the brink of a World Cup campaign. This is what you were brought in for. And you said before about how much of an opportunity it is. Have you been putting that across to the players already?
Well, I think, we've had a short time only. We've only been together since Sunday. So I think it is a huge privilege, it's no doubt. It's the ultimate opportunity to manage a World Cup campaign for Ireland. And I think it's special, I think. So we're looking forward to it, really. It's tough first game in Serbia, of course, before we play Luxembourg. So, but the players, their attitude's been brilliant. They're all excited themselves. It's interesting because some of the players, Troy Parrott and Gavin Bazuna, were born in the same year as we last got to the World Cup. Jason Knight was only one when we got to the World Cup. So that's and then obviously you have players who are 30 years of age and 31 who know that they really want to give it everything to try and get to a World Cup, and so we're just really not just looking at the big picture at the minute. We've got to focus on the short term and the task in hand and facing Serbia.
Hopefully you won't get any injuries in training or anything like that. So I know you won't give away your team, but have you got more or less your mind made up on how you want to approach this at this point?
Yeah, no, I clearly have my mind made up how I want to approach it. I think there's the instruction will be clear. We trained tonight in the stadium. We're looking forward to that. It was great. It was great to have Manchester City's facilities yesterday, that we could meet so quickly, because for some of them it was match day +1, match day +2. You had to modify the training, etc. But you're right. Everyone's reported fit. All the COVID tests have been negative, and we're certainly looking forward to training tonight, and then make sure we're ready for the game tomorrow. It's hugely exciting at the start of a campaign like this for everyone, and so we're looking forward to the game.
Best of luck to you, Stephen. Thanks.
Thank you.
Guy Havard from Sky Sports, please.
Hi, Stephen. Just want to talk about Shane Duffy. You said he's never let Ireland down. How do you go about selecting him or not selecting him? Is it based on what he's done for Ireland, or is it from what you've seen him playing for Celtic, training as brief as it will be with you, and how he is around the camp?
Yeah, I think, listen, Shane, his life has sort of been dissected at the moment, and the microscope is on him in relation to every aspect of his performances. But I think sometimes players get a move to a club, and for some reason it doesn't work out, and you mustn't forget the terrific form he had with Brighton in the Premier League for a number of years, and for Ireland he was named twice International Player of the Year. So that kind of form doesn't leave you overnight. So these are things that we have to consider.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Gavin Cooney from the 42, please.
Hi, Stephen. What's the injury situation for tomorrow, particularly Aaron Connolly and James McLean? I know there was doubts about them. Are they ready to go for tomorrow?
Yeah, I suppose the different kind of issues, really, because James they're both undercooked, if you like, because James obviously had the issue with his heel, and he's recovering from an injection and was off it for a while, so he wasn't very advanced in his training program. He hadn't done too much. James has incredible determination to play for Ireland. I think that's obvious, as it is of so many players, I think, and so he trained yesterday, and he's super keen, as he always is. He is super keen, and he looks in brilliant physical condition, but obviously he's not done too much. He's not done too much of late. Aaron, again, a little bit undercooked. Hasn't played in a while. Had the rib injury, couldn't train. and has come in on the back of just probably 3 days training. So a little bit undercooked, but trained yesterday. We did some finishing. Tonight in the stadium, when you train in the stadium and you get a chance to hit the back of the net, becomes real. And I think, him and Callum Robinson, both who've not played that much. Callum's obviously not played for a while, so for West Brom. So every time they hit the back of the net in training, it's a good feeling for them, and hopefully they can bring that into the game.
Yeah, and you'll obviously have an inexperienced goalkeeper making his competitive debut. Do you feel you need a familiar centre half partnership like Shane Duffy and Kieran Clark to mitigate against that?
I think it's a valid question, and I respect you asking it. I just, at this stage, I'm not sort of going to give away my team, of course, and I think wouldn't be wise for me to do that. So I think, but yeah, listen, you have to consider all of these issues, but we've a lot of good players coming through. It's a radical change really, with sort of 13 players coming through the system within a few months. Over the last, who've been in the under 17s, 18s, 19s, and in the under 21s. So there is that infusion of enthusiasm and talent come into the squad. So you can't ignore it. You can't ignore that. And I think so. That's something you have to consider as well.
Thanks.
Ed Leahy from RTE, please.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi Ed, how you doing?
So can you hear me yet?
Yeah.
Stephen, I suppose just in terms of the nature of this game being the opening World Cup qualifier, as well as there's going to be an element of a reshuffle and inexperience within the team, is there an argument for being a bit more defensive and a bit more direct, perhaps, at the same time as you were searching for goals?
Defensive and direct, they're sort of two separate issues, I think. I think they're two separate ideas. A bit more defensive, does that mean in a low block? Does that mean playing players in our own half and getting a lot of bodies behind the ball? Direct, does that mean in possession, don't pass it, just hit the channels? You can't on one hand give instruction and then just all of a sudden when rip everything up, and just say, right, we're going to defend in the low block and just boot knock it in the channel, So I think the answer to that is a clear no on both fronts,
Grant, and then just in terms, you talked about a couple of.
But I do respect Serbia. Having said that, I do respect Serbia and realise I'm not naive, and realise they've got a lot of very, very good attacking players, a lot of talent, and we will have to be cognizant of that, and we'll have to defend well, and good defending. There's nothing wrong with good defending, I think it's important that we defend well, and we're not neglecting the importance of defending. The importance of defending well will be, it'll be hugely important we defend well, because they have got players who can punish you.
Great. And just in terms of, you mentioned a couple of the players being undercooked, would you be a type of person in a restaurant who might opt for the rare option rather than the well done? Listen, yes, sometimes we're not in a position. That's just where we are with some players, and that's ideally you'd want all your players, your attacking players, playing every week and scoring for their clubs and so forth. But you have to adapt. And listen, the players are really excited about the possibility of playing for their country in a World Cup qualifier. That's a huge ambition for them all, so it's a great opportunity. Thanks a lot. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Will from Off the Ball, please.
Hi, Stephen. You've played generally with a focal forward in these first 8 games, just with circumstance between David McGoldrick's retirement, Adam Ida not being available. Are you consider going maybe with a different option through the middle tomorrow night? I appreciate you're not going to give away your team selection, but possibly maybe playing Callum Robinson or Aaron Connolly through the middle, which would be slightly different to the attacking system you've played so far.
No, I get the point you're making. Will the sort of physical presence of We have James Collins again, who's obviously had a good season overall with Luton. I know he's not been in the team in recent weeks, but he's had a good season. And Shane Long is sort of a bit rejuvenated, having gone to Bournemouth and played some consecutive games. So we have options, different types of players. They're sort of different characteristics of strikers. So we have to get the balance right in our attack and play, regardless of who plays there. And obviously Adam has played in a few games. We were sort of blooding him and giving him an opportunity. David McGoldrick was the number 9. James Collins played against Bulgaria. So you're right. There might be opportunities for other options there. Now we have to consider that.
And just in terms of the goalkeepers, Seamus Coleman was saying to us earlier, Stephen, that they've fit in well over the last couple of days. You appreciated there hasn't been too many sessions before this, but how have they found coming into this squad? I mean, I know Mark Travers has been in here before, but it's all very new, say for Gavin Bazunu. How have the goalkeepers settled in over the last couple of days for you?
Yeah, no, I think so. We've sort of had a continuity. Like, there's sort of a. It doesn't mean that anyone who's not been in the international setup before can't be picked, but in a short proximity like that, Kieran O'Hara had come through. The 21 team, has been in the senior squad under Mick McCarthy before me for 2 years, and not is familiar with everyone and understands. Has made his debut. Mark Travers has been in the international squad. Come through the international teams and has played, albeit only 1.5 games with Ireland before. And Gavin obviously is a younger one who's just now come up with the under 21s, and obviously he's a very exciting prospect and has a great future ahead of him. So I do take it on board that the players are inexperienced. I do take that on board, but no, they're we have faith in them as goalkeepers, and Mark will play, and we have every faith in them.